So at the start, it'll be November 4th, which it was on Halloween before, so it's been about 4 days since. Um, we'll do some kind of what did y'all do in the downtime, but this might inform some of the things y'all did or how you reacted or felt a little bit. Um, as the news came out about the missing people, the 21 that were missing turned into 19. Two of them that were missing were just a couple of kids who had gone off to a party and were just really late getting back. Um, of the remaining 19, two of them were adults. One was 26, one was 35. They were the security guards who were actually hired by the neighborhood to kind of patrol during the party. Everyone else who was missing ranged from about 5 to 17.
Doesn't make me feel any better at all.
Given the nature of exactly what happened, Aegis was going to try to kind of keep it under wraps a bit, but whenever a mother tracked her kids, because, white people, GPSing their kids.
I mean, yes, you're correct.
Yeah, especially in rich neighborhoods. They tracked the last known location to where they found the body of Axel Anders. So that caused a little bit further investigation in which they found like the 3 miniaturized transmitters basically in him when they did the autopsy. And so it kind of came out that something more nefarious went on than what they were trying to keep under wraps there, as her 3 adopted children had apparently been eaten.
Oh, God damn it. Oh, it's so much worse.
Nobody was quite sure why Axel killed himself, but they were kind of putting 2 and 2 together after it came out that it appears that people were being shrunk and eaten, and he realized what he'd done most likely. But otherwise, why else would like a 19-year-old working on his doctorate already, kill himself?
Stop adding more and more to this guy's story.
What if the cure for cancer arrested was in fact this NPC?
Like, before he was kid in the prison, and then you were like, he's 19, and I was like, oh God, he's way younger than I thought. And then now he was working on his doctorate. It's like, hey, how about not, dog?
Like, I had these ideas already in mind the last time. We just didn't go into like all this. But the list of the names of all the missing came out with pictures, and among the missing, you do not see the one you're worried about. That listed as missing.
Well, at least that's one bullet dodge.
And so with this and seeing that there appears to have been some sort of, metahuman, superhero shenanigans, some villain activity going on that caused this, that kind of created a sudden spike in support for the whole Registration Act and all that.
Gotcha.
And so, with that, Thomas, what have you been doing these past 4 days?
I mean, definitely not eating any hot dogs. Real talk, I probably went home and threw out everything that we had. The past few days, I've been feeling a little better about myself, so mainly just hanging out. Probably spent some time playing games with, what was his name, Tim? I think
Jim.
you said?
Jim.
Jim, one of those, I don't know. White guy name.
Yeah, it's JIM.
But yeah, probably just been hanging out with him / at home some.
Okay. Fee.
Well, one of the things that I would have done is that, seeing how affected Stryker has been by all of this, I want to try to sit down and have a conversation with my father and see if he'd agree to co-sign on a lease for an apartment. I've been saving money for a while so that Stryker and I could get an apartment, and after this and seeing his reaction, he wants to try to get a move on that so she can keep an eye on him and make sure that he's getting what help he needs to deal with this.
And your dad, he's he's not really wanting to see you leave, but he understands and he knows how hard it is to deal with your mom, and there hasn't really been a time to tell her anything yet. So he's willing to help.
Well, then if, he would be willing to help, then I've been, going to, this place that I found, trying to get all the paperwork signed, get the deposit together, get everything, so that she can call Stryker and try to surprise him.
Okay, and yeah, y'all are able to find a place that's relatively close to work and within your price range together, and without having to dip into the savings or anything. Immediately pending in some emergency, of course.
Yeah.
And of course, with your dad signing off on everything, basically for liability, because a couple of kids getting a apartment, kind of sketchy. But
Exactly.
managed to find a place though that seems to be okay with it.
All right, and so one of the things that she would like to do is like she would like to call Stryker and like invite him to come meet her at the new apartment.
Yeah, so this is probably like the day of the start. So on the 4th, probably took a few days to get all this in order and everything. So
Yeah.
fairly early, but not like super early. Before noon sometime, Stryker, you get a phone call, then it registers that it's from Fee.
Yeah, he picks up the phone.
Hey, Stryker, how are you doing?
Fine.
Would you be interested in coming to meet me somewhere? I've got something I think you'd like to see.
Sure, I'm not doing anything today.
All right, I will. I'll text you the address and I'll see you there. Okay.
He kind of nods, forgetting she can't even see that. Hangs up.
She immediately texts him the address.
He'll go. I mean, probably take him a while to walk. But
Yeah. So as you're walking towards the address you were texted, we'll go back and what has Stryker been doing these past 3 days or so?
I think he's been spending a lot of time with the professor, which he's obviously not really known for doing, but given the circumstances, I think they both kind of understand that he shouldn't be by himself right now. And it's been a lot of like quiet contemplation and trying to like just overwork himself. Probably a lot of training, maybe quietly picking up shifts without letting me know at the House of Bruises, where he just fights the entire shift as opposed to the usual like 1 or 2 a day that he keeps himself to.
Okay, so basically losing himself in that, and also a bit of stress relief potentially.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so you takes you a bit walking there from the professor. I'm assuming it's kind of where you were at from what you're saying at that point. This early in the day still. So, but you do make it to the apartment that she texted you. It's not the most, it's not the nicest building you've ever seen, but it's better than a lot of other ones you've seen as well, though. So,
Yeah, net positive. I guess he'll knock on the door.
Fee immediately goes and opens it and just sort of smiles. Hey.
Kind of like
She
looks
steps
around.
back and sort of ushers him in. Not a whole lot of furniture, but like a futon, small coffee table.
I mean, you're speaking to a man who lives basically by his backpack. So this is, I mean, it's a lot more than like a park bench, which is basically luxury to Stryker.
And the apartment itself is, I mean, it looks like it was probably a 1-bedroom with an office, where they kind of converted the office into a small bedroom instead. 1 shower and bath. Pretty small overall, but it's still a nice starter typically.
Raises an eyebrow and looks back at her.
What do you think? And then she sort of holds out a key to him. I know I'd mentioned in the past about getting an apartment. Is there any way I could convince you to be my roommate?
Yeah. Kind of visibly relaxes and just says, thanks.
Of course, we take care of each other.
He nods and says, I want the smaller bedroom though.
Not happening. I already put posters on the wall. Go look.
Kind of sighs, just looks and sees that you have claimed the room, and he's like,
What are the posters of?
oh boy.
Princess Pikachu.
I mean, this is probably the part of the apartment he looks least encouraging about.
Well, because she knew if she did anything else, he would fight her on it, so she knew she had to get the most ridiculous posters.
And these posters aren't like just pictures of the costume that Thomas was in. These are like actual art pieces that predate the costume that he was wearing. And you can tell from the artist signature and stuff on them. So apparently this is a concept that's been around for a while. It wasn't just Thomas lucking out or unlucking out, depending on how you look at it, on costumes.
Hey, fine. I want to be in a room where that isn't.
She laughs, of course. There's not much in your room already, but I did bring over a bed. It's not much, but it's something, man.
Nothing's more than what I planned to sleep on.
Not from here on out.
He nods and kind of digs into his bag and pulls out some money.
She smiles. I've got everything set up for this month, but I figured next month we could split everything 50-50. My dad helped me out because, well, you know how things have been. He figured it would be for the best and wanted to help.
I'm glad things sound like they're doing better. He just sighs and he's like, I'm really starting to feel my lack of communication skills lately.
No worries, you can buy groceries this week. How about that?
Sounds significantly easier to deal with.
All right.
Then he nods, takes 10 steps, puts his backpack down, sees his new bed, collapses, and probably goes to sleep because he's. Ooh boy, has he not been resting probably enough the past couple of days.
He closes the door behind him and just leaves him to sleep.
Okay. Thomas, back at your house, you're up for the day at this point already. Guy presented you breakfast, and he's asked you what you want for lunch. I don't know if you have a normal thing you get, or if you make it as difficult for him as possible.
I mean, always, yeah. Not that there's a specific thing, just when he's about halfway done. Oh no, I don't want.
And you're probably in the game room at this point, just kind of putzing around in there. When your phone goes off and it's unknown caller.
Sorry, do it cut out.
Oh, as you're like playing in there, you hear your phone go off. If you check it out, it's from a caller unknown.
Sorry, it cut out literally right at who it was.
Unknown, like it's not a name in your phone. There's no caller ID. It's not giving it any identity or anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm kind of hesitant, but I answer it. Hello?
They're coming. Get out of the house now. Run.
Who is this?
There's no time. Run. They're coming for you.
Okay, sure. Just kind of hang up. Gottfried?
Yes, sir.
I don't know who, but someone said that someone's coming and that we should probably leave.
To the car, sir. And he grabs the keys and he's taking off towards the garage to get going with it.
Just as a side note, you said that people are starting to be more vocal in favor of the Registration Act. So I don't know how successful I would have been, but I've probably tried to call my dad a few times in the past couple days too.
Yeah, you've been able to get a hold of him for some brief conversations, but he's also been extra busy trying to prevent it from gaining ground.
Yeah, that was why I said it in successful. I'd have been like, he's too busy a lot of the time anyway.
I don't know. I feel there's a moment where a dad decides maybe I should put work to the side a bit. Is when the son goes, I watched that. Those hot dog people. My team dealt with that. I watched the man explode.
But I can also picture Thomas not telling him that.
Yeah, I was about to say if he, but like yeah, I was about to say. I mean, but Thomas would have to speak up on that one. Because we didn't really leave our names anywhere to be seen on that.
Which, given everything he has to worry about with trying to maintain his image, because, I was accidentally married to, or I may or may not have accidentally been married to a supervillain for a while. Haha, sorry guys.
Like a horrible murderous supervillain, not like a bank robbing supervillain.
Yeah, that.
I mean, who hasn't?
Most people.
But, last time I checked, not me.
Yeah, fine.
And then again, I guess there could always be a secret significant other that I've never known I've been married to. A common problem in the superhero world. And secret sons.
Yeah, I mean, with mind control, time travel, everything else, who knows?
We literally have.
I mean, just given everything, given who Stryker is as a person, I just kind of assume like half his exes are probably not on the right side of the law.
He doesn't. He's never had a girlfriend.
Oh, never mind.
The closest thing he has to, I guess, a female friend that isn't Fee would be Long Shot, and their relationship is awkward at best.
But yeah, so you were able to get a hold of your dad, though. I don't know how much you told him or what exactly you wanted to talk to him about, but...
Dad mainly would have just been checking in, like, hey, sorry I got involved in a thing that made your job hard. That
And he's apologetic. He had planned to be back this weekend, but with everything that happened now, he's on overcharge to, I guess, try to put out fires where he can. He also sees everything he's doing up there as doing it to like make your life better by not having you basically be a government lackey.
Yeah, it's a real cast in the cradle situation, isn't it?
Yep. So do you head to the car with Gottfried?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so y'all get in, and he locks it in he doesn't even take time to raise the garage door. Like the car, this is when you find out that it's actually been reinforced pretty strongly as he just rips through the garage door, taking off at a high speed. And as you kind of look back, you can see movement on the roof of your house from some unknown individuals that look to be in mostly white clothing of some kind, as they appear to be kind of scaling down the side and breaking in. They obviously catch their attention whenever y'all break out of the garage. You see some of them turning and pull out something. You can't tell if it's a gun or what, but it looks like some sort of like a fire projectile starts heading towards the vehicle as he starts swerving to avoid it as they start doing something, but you lose sight of him as he turns a corner to try to get away. Are you okay, sir?
What the heck was all that?
I don't know, but I've learned long ago when you get the mysterious phone call telling you to run, you run.
Yeah, I guess so. Shit. Sorry, language. I know. I'll put a quarter in the jar later.
That's understandable, sir.
So, on a scale of rich families' home security to like Home Alone lethal, where are the traps looking on this house that these boys now have to deal with? I'm hoping Home Alone lethal, where one of them was just straight up a brick to the head, which would kill a man.
Don't know. We're not on that scene anymore. They got away before we got to see them inside.
Also, I'd like to imagine that Godfrey has 100% like installed one of those like Batman like pull slides from any level of the house to the garage.
It's like he's like 8 rooms to the left, and it still somehow pole slides down into the garage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like it's not even Home Alone traps. It's just random ways to get us into the garage.
One dude slips and like falls like 6 stories. Like, what the fuck? Who puts a hole in the middle of the bathroom?
Well, it's even better when you activate the one in the basement. That somehow still slides down that gets you a level up.
Oh, dude, that would make that's the kind of thing that would fuck up Stryker for a while.
I'll take you to a safe house, sir. I don't know if this is about you or you and your friends or whatever, but you may want to warn them.
Yeah. I guess so. I'll go ahead and do that.
I
I
can
don't
pick,
know. I mean, I guess I might flip a coin and just end up calling B first.
and as you're dialing, he goes, I can pick them up and bring them to the safe house as well if they need it.
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea.
And so you said you ended up calling Fee?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you leave Stryker alone, Fee, your phone goes off.
I go in and grab it, and I see that it's Thomas. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, so nothing serious, but where are you guys? We're gonna go to a safe house.
Rich people things. Don't worry about it. You're poor.
Actually, Stryker and I are moving into our new apartment today. Why are we going to a safe house?
I don't know. I got a call saying to run. Godfrey said, "Fuck yeah, let's run." Sorry, another quarter. I know. And then some people were breaking into the house, so now we're driving.
Okay. All right. I can text you the address.
Yeah,
I don't-
go ahead and do that.
Yeah. All right. I'll go wake up Stryker. And so she hangs up. She quickly texts Thomas the address, and she goes into Stryker's room.
been asleep long enough to get the bed warm. Laid down, you took 2 steps out the door, like, reopened. God damn it, why?
Title of this episode, Stryker can't take a goddamn nap.
I guess Stryker gets back up because he sees that someone opened the door. And
Speed
I think he's still used to
just
living
sort of
on the
walks
street.
in.
So, like, the first thing he does is, like, grabs the bag and gets in a fighting pose, and it's like, oh, yeah, I don't need to protect my money anymore.
She's like, so someone just tried to do something to Thomas. They tried to break into his house. He's on his way here, and apparently we're going to a safe house.
We're not
That's all I
going
got.
to bed?
Not going to bed, unfortunately, because apparently life just won't let you do that. I'm sorry.
All right. He kind of gets up, picks up his bag, and says, well, I guess I got to enjoy the sensation of having a room for, I don't know, 2 minutes. And just starts heading out.
Stryker, you can leave the bag here. We're coming back.
And he kind of pauses and that's right. And he puts the bag back down and then comes out of the room.
Oh, is the candy in the bag for your friend?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just been carrying it around the whole time.
Uh-huh. I mean, if they all have like fucking transmitters on them, I guess I deserve to die. For trying to do something nice for a kid, and the lesson will be learned: never do nice things for anyone.
So you give the address to Gottfried. He puts it in the GPS and makes his way there. Do y'all wait outside for him, or do y'all wait in the apartment, or?
Yeah, I figured we'd either like wait in like the overhang, not directly outside in the parking lot, but somewhere strategic, but not in the apartment either.
Okay, so yeah, you see the car coming on the street, and a familiar sight at this point from the number of times y'all have ridden in it, and it pulls up, and when it does, the driver's side door opens, and Gottfried basically leaps out of it, rolling to the ground, going into a position with a pistol, looking around, and opens the back door. Get in!
Okay.
Yeah, Stryker doesn't. I mean, he doesn't hesitate. You see that it's this serious. He grabs Fee and quickly gets in the car.
The door shuts, and he jumps back in and just takes off. And apologies, not quite sure what's going on, but somebody is making some sort of move. We don't know if it's against Sir Thomas or the entire group. Better safe than sorry.
No, I don't think we have to get Obsidian shaved. I'm pretty sure his house is a goddamn fortress.
He nods, and very good. It should be only about 30 minutes to the safe house.
She just nods and she just looks over at Thomas. Thomas, are you all right?
Yep, everything's cool. All good here.
Okay.
I also probably haven't blinked since, like, we left the house, but, you know.
It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right, Thomas. We'll figure this out.
And y'all are on the road about 15 minutes when you hear a subtle, like a very low, subdued, oh shit, seatbelts.
I guess he buckles in and tries to hold down it. I guess anyone can, depending on things. Probably has like one hand on the side, like that fucking handle thing, and I guess the other one on spy, in case this is really bad. He doesn't really know what's going on.
And so as y'all are bracing yourselves, you can see out of the front of the window as he tries to spin the car around, you see what looks to be some sort of rocket launching itself towards the front of the car. He tries to turn out of the way to get down one of the side alleys. As it explodes into the ground right where he had been, and the force of it sends the car tumbling over on its side, then rolls a few times down the street a bit, knocking everybody about a bit.
Was that a fucking rocket?
Yes, sir. The car itself is surprisingly in one piece. As I said, even for Thomas, like, it's his first experience that just how reinforced this vehicle actually is.
Still operational?
It is on its roof. Upside down. I don't believe we'll be going anywhere in this car for now, unless we can get it flipped over. I believe we have more incoming, though. And he hits a button, and like steel plating basically raises up, blocking out the windows. As you hear some more like booms in the car, kind of rattling about again.
Can I reach out with my powers and see if we're lucky enough, or if I can make us lucky enough for any of those booms to flip us back right side up so we can drive out?
Roll Unleash. See if you can finally get one.
Really anything that isn't this right now.
Ha! Fuck you.
Yeah, temporary is fine for this one because you're just trying to get it to flip it over, basically. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and so as you reach out with your powers, you feel another rocket coming your way, and you let go of some of the magical force that you go to try to bend it to your will a bit, and it hits, exploding just right as it flips the car up into the air. Once it rolls over, twice it rolls over, the third time it rolls over and lands on the wheels, and Godfrey is very good, sir, and he just starts driving.
Woo! Thomas, do good.
Good job. Good job.
Stryker turns to them and says, "You two should probably duck in case one of the windows go."
Yep.
Well, if they can break through these windows, we have more to worry about than I expected.
What kind of glass are you using? That's rocket repellent.
It's a touch magical.
Oh, it's just the anti-rocket glass. We got it at Best Buy a few weeks ago. What is happening?
Sir, it's most likely enemies of your mother trying to get back at her through you. Again.
Yay!
He places a hand on Thomas's shoulder and says, "Just relax. We've been technically in more dangerous situations than this one, and we've seen it through together.
Yeah, man, I guess.
I'll make sure that you and Fire are safe. I guess you'll try to comfort and support. I mean, it's never worked before. But maybe
Go for it.
Yeah, it's never worked, but maybe this was not the one time."
Yeah, it doesn't quite have the impact you're hoping for, as you're saying that y'all will be okay, you keep hearing explosions all around you.
Man, it's Easter 2013 all over again.
What?
Oh, I missed that boat.
Is this just a thing that happens to rich people?
Fee just sort of shrugs her shoulders.
She's like, the Johansons down the street never have to deal with this bullshit. Another quarter, I'm sorry.
Fee looks at Godfrey. She's like, "Is there a sunroof on this thing?"
Yes, I don't believe it'd be wise to use it at the moment.
You are definitely taking your head out of that sunroof.
I can provide enough of a distraction using my water that we can get away. I can do this, Stryker.
Can we even see anything out of these windows anymore?
You can just see out of like a small slit that he's looking through, but you can tell he is also what looks to be some camera systems that's helping him also keep driving, but you can't see out at all from the back otherwise.
He's like, there's not really a good way of knowing that when you come up, the rockets will be coming at us. If the situation gets more intense, then I'll acquiesce to your plan. But until then, I just don't think it's. We don't have enough information for that to be a good idea.
She nods and she sort of begins to look around, trying to see if there's any way she can get some sort of line of sight on the people chasing them.
Not really.
Yeah.
You
I
can
didn't expect there was, but she's just trying.
Yeah, like you can, like looking up over into the front, you can basically see what you would normally be able to see from the driver's seat through the tiny little slit he's using and like the camera system, but you can't see like behind really or like above or anywhere else they might be. But you do notice as you're watching that you appear to be in a park area at this point, and up in front of you, you can see the large central lake at the park, and he's just heading full speed at it as he goes, you may want to brace yourselves again. We're going under.
Under
Oh, into the lake.
my natural habitat.
Clenches his teeth.
What was that?
He clenches his teeth, I guess.
And yeah, you feel like a kind of an uplift, and then you hear the guy's car smashes into the lake, and as it submerges, you hear what sounds like some sort of like whirring type of noise as it keeps going under into the lake. Now, apparently, some sort of submersible.
What the fuck is this car? I'm not even sure if car's the right word anymore.
Toy car.
And like watching as he's driving, he heads towards the bottom, and there's a kind of like towards the base of a deeper spot. You see what looks to be the earth itself just kind of slide open into what looks like a tunnel as it goes into that, and it closes behind it as it keeps going down and under a good ways, still underwater, before it eventually starts kind of leveling off and then rises up a little bit into what looks like some sort of underground garage as the car basically just drives now out of the water onto the parking area of this garage area. We have arrived. And there's like another like kind of whirring noise. The steel plating kind of goes down. You can see it around inside, and it looks like a normal garage, except there appears to be water that leads to a lake right next to the parking area, and a large steel door in the front. I apologize for the rough travels.
I mean, that's the last thing you have to apologize about right now, I guess.
Yeah, no worries. It's
That's cool.
Do you have any footage from the cameras that we could use to maybe that you were using to drive that we could use to identify those who were chasing us? Try to figure out which enemies they are?
I would imagine we could find something out from that or from the security system at the house itself if they broke in after we escaped, or even just on the roof. Let's go into the house proper as he opens the door for everybody to get out.
He, slides out and just looks around, sort of gaping that the fact that they're in a house under the water, just sort of like.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah, as you get out of the car, you're in like basically it just looks like a garage, but he leads y'all to that door, and he opens that with some biometric scans and some key codes. And as it opens up, it's basically an exact replica of Thomas's house underground.
Fee's just sort of gaping, like, what the really? A house underwater? What? Okay.
Well, the house itself is under land. It's just the water route is the entry into the garage.
My apologies, Godfrey. I'm sorry. And she just sort of continues to like look around, her mouth slightly like agape, just like, so. Guess this is what you can do with money. Alright.
With very, very large amounts of it, yes. And Thomas, this is your first time being in this particular safe house. You've been in safe houses before, but they're normally like what you would expect for a safe house, like an actual house somewhere, like unknown. Not the type of places you go to when you're actively being pursued by rocket launching bad guys or anything.
Yeah, yay. But yeah, I was assuming I hadn't seen this one before. Yeah.
If you follow me to the command center, I believe we'll be able to pull the footage you're requesting.
She nods and she follows along with him.
And as y'all follow him, heads to in the actual house, what would have been Thomas's game room. There's another door, but he has to enter a series of codes, and it opens up. And instead of being a game room, though, it's just like a massive security center, basically, with monitors all over the place, with feeds from all sorts of places. But they all seem to be civilian places, like houses, different safe houses, different perhaps properties owned by the family, things like that. And you can see some cameras views of the park itself around, watching there. And based on Stryker in particular, you probably spend more time in the park than anyone else. From the angles of some of them, you recognize that they appear to be like basically the eyes of some of the statues in the park. Apparently have hidden cameras in them.
I don't know a lot about laws, but I feel like this is breaking a lot of.
Well, it's all in self-defense, really.
He kind of looks at him a little incredulously, and he's like,
When you're as wanted as some people are, a higher level of security than normal is required. Thomas, I'm trying to remember. Do they all know your mom was straight up supervillain, major villain?
I would have told Stryker for sure. So beyond that, I don't think I've really brought it up.
I guess nods. I guess in understanding, like.
Yes, and he sits down and starts typing in some stuff and pulls up some of the camera footage from the car, and he pulls up footage from your actual house, and you can see the individuals, though they are still, like all of them, the ones at the house and the ones that were chasing you with the rocket launchers there, they are all garbed in white, but it looks to be almost a Assassin's Creed Templar Knights type of outfit. Not like normal white suits or white clothes, but robes and almost chainmail looking type things, except they're armed with rocket launchers and modern weapons. It appears the Templars have found you, sir.
Oh, great. That's just awesome. Yeah.
What?
Who? Godfrey?
The Templars. It's a religious sect, major power. There's some history there.
Not really big fans of my mom.
Why are they wearing? I mean, I'm not the most well-read person. I'm almost certain that shit people wore like centuries ago.
Some people and their traditions.
I mean, like my uncle thinks bell bottoms are going to come back. These guys like ropes.
So are they like a big organization? Because they did follow B and I, which implies that they have a way of tracking us.
Have you heard of the Catholic Church?
I mean, like
Who hasn't?
Well, there you go.
Apparently me. He kind of just didn't expect that reaction.
So one of the world's most organized religions and the oldest of they want Thomas.
I imagine it's more to get to his mother.
I just give her finger guns.
You get the feeling that Thomas has been dealing with this type of thing most of his life.
He just sort of like face palms and just sort of looks at him and then looks at Stryker and then just shrugs like, I got nothing. Usually I'm pretty good at trying to explain things. This, I got nothing.
It could be when she stole the Spear of Destiny from them, or when she killed the Pope that one time. It could be a number of reasons.
Or that other time. Or actually, maybe that third time.
That sounds like someone who's important.
Oh, they brought him back. It was fine. I don't know why they would hold any animosity for it.
Wait, I thought when you're dead, that's kind of it.
For most people.
Not Catholics, though.
What?
Does that religion gives you superpowers?
Only for the higher ranking members of it.
This is sounding more and more like yet another thing that I can't punch to deal with.
You can always punch a Pope.
No, dude, yeah, it's even better, because when you punch him and he explodes, they can rebuild him.
Okay, that's not a typical side effect of me punching things.
Yeah, but it was cool, to be fair.
He kind of nods. And then, trying to reset himself a bit, he's just like, so is this going to be like a 2-day thing, or... I got a job.
Yeah, we have rent to pay now, so
You guys might need to take some sick time. Yeah.
Kind of sighs and calls his boss.
Yeah, Kiko answers. Hey, Stryker, what's up?
Apparently, I'm not going to be able to come to work for the next couple of days. Kind of looks at Thomas like, days, right?
I just kind of do that little thing where, like, I just waggle my hand a little bit, like, eh.
Might be weak. Apparently, I'm being targeted by the entirety of some organization called the Catholic Church.
You're a little old for them, aren't you?
They have an age range that they gun for?
Most of the time.
That's a little unnerving that they come after little children with rocket launchers.
Oh, that's a new one. I haven't heard that euphemism before.
Boss, I feel like we're talking about two different... I mean actual rockets.
Oh, yeah, I've not... Yeah, if the Catholic Church is after you with rocket launchers, I understand that you can't come to work.
I don't know how long it's going to be, because I don't know why I'm being targeted. But apparently this is just the usual for one of my teammates. I don't know. I'm learning a lot today about some strange chain-wielding, mail-wielding church. I know that death isn't the final destination for some. He's just like so overloaded strange information. He's like, so I guess typical paid time off for a superhero. I think.
I assume that you're not alone in this, and I can expect another person to be calling, or just using this one as well to...
Yeah, he's with me. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, they want to kill us. We've got to stop them.
No. Somebody should have stopped the Catholic Church a long time ago. But yeah, be safe. I'll get your shifts covered.
Thanks. Sorry about all this.
Yeah. She just sounds more confused than anything else.
Well, talk to you later. See you, boss. It hangs up quickly before she can ask more questions. He doesn't have answers. And he turns and looks to I guess, Thomas and Godfrey again and says, the more I'm learning about this strange church, the less I'm understanding as to why there's so many people who believe, or I guess are a part of it.
Well, this group here, they're a secret part of it. A lot of people don't believe they're real, or they died out a long time ago as the times changed, and they keep a lot of secrets in the upper echelons that the common followers don't know about.
Well, what about the part that apparently targets younger children with something that's like a rocket? I don't know. She started talking about euphemisms when I mentioned the rocket launcher.
And all the times y'all seen this is the first time Godfrey kind of like looks like he almost like blushes a bit and just that tends to get brushed under the rug and people just like to pretend that doesn't happen.
I just put a hand on Stryker's shoulder and kind of shake my head a little.
I guess now he's found himself in yet another confusing situation that he's just like, okay, well.
He just sort of looks at him and goes, I'll explain later. I promise. I'll explain later.
From the many reactions, I'm not entirely sure on what the answer is. I'm going to go ahead and call the professor to make sure she stays with her family for a bit. I don't know if they know that I spent time with her. Do they typically target friends of friends?
Well, we don't know if they were following us or if they had you staked out. Typically, it's the young Thomas and sometimes his friends, but I haven't really seen them go beyond that. But I can't say for sure.
He nods and starts, I guess, dialing the professor. Like, man, this is more phone conversations I've had in like this past week than I've maybe had in my entire life. It's awful.
Yeah, and she picks up. Oh, hello.
Hey, Professor. I've found myself in a situation, and you might not be safe.
Is it more hot dogs?
No. I don't think so. Some organization called the Templars from this place called the Catholic Church are trying to kill us.
What have you gotten yourself into, Stryker?
I don't know. I had learned that I had an apartment and a room for the first time.
Congratulations.
I laid down and then I had to get up and this happened. I don't really know much about the church except little children with things like rocket launchers. That the Templars wear chainmail and are apparently secret. Happens to my teammate a lot, or at least more than one time, and they're not sure how far their intelligence is. So I just figured it might be safe for you to stay with your family rather than on your own.
Yes. If the Templars are involved, then I will probably be going to the compound.
Do you know anything about them?
I know they exist and they are typically bad news, but I don't know much beyond that.
Okay. Remind me to never go to this Catholic church. It seems like an awful place.
They are usually pretty boring services.
Really? He sounds very shocked. All the information he's been told about the Catholic Church, boring is not the word he used.
But you stay safe, and I'll make my way to the compound.
He nods and says, "You stay safe too," and kind of hangs up and says, "All right, that's like really the two people I need to concern myself with. So what do we do in this place?"
Oh, well, there's a TV and assortment of movies and cable in the other room, and I'm going to be going over the footage here to see if I can find out which particular branch of the Templars this is. Maybe if I find out what they're after, or what revenge they're trying to get, and see if we can find a way to put an end to it without, giving over any of you.
Got it. Good luck, I guess. I don't imagine. From how big this organization sounds, there's not going to be a very convenient man to punch to kind of knock over the house cards or wherever the metaphor is.
Well, it may, if it comes to fisticuffs. If enough harm can be brought to enough of their agents, they'll perhaps rethink another attempt for a few years at least.
Kind of just nods and gives Variable a pat on the shoulder and says, "Yeah, whenever this happens again, I guess give me a call so I can help." Sounds messy.
And Thomas, most of the time, this is one of the a little bit more escalated ones, but something involving your mom's past usually creeps up every 6 months to a year.
Thereabout, yeah. Yeah, no, it's, remember what I told you about my mom?
Yep.
Yeah. We have to deal with fallout every now and then. Also, just as a side note, I have a move, all the best stuff for accessing a person's caches of info that I would like to go ahead and roll, just for if we can find any info on who these guys are and specifically why this group is out.
All right, let me pull that move up real quick. Is that one of your Scion moves?
Yeah. Hang on, I can copy and paste into the chat.
Well, I had the playbooks open. I should just scroll to it.
I want to scan the Jesus man. Speaking of moves, I also had enough from when I fucked up my interpersonal skills yet again. I got a new advancement which I used to just take 2 more rolls of a bull's heart. So now I am a listener, a friend, and a defender. Because I don't think that Stryker is gonna be one enabling poor rash decisions anymore. Seeing as that seems to be his party's job.
Okay, so that's a little bit different from what you were describing. It's not information, it's equipment and weapons from other supers that have been hidden in the city.
Oh, okay, then yeah, never mind.
So basically, this would be stuff that your mom stole over the course of her career from other heroes and villains that she has stored in different places.
Yeah, I figured since it allows for hero and villain, I figured stuff like that from my mom, or like every now and then if Dream Journal has given me access to something they've got.
Does there happen to be an Antichrist theme?
Oh, wait, actually, no, it does say on a hit, you find a tool or intel useful to your situation.
Okay, so yeah, so do you want me to go ahead and roll it then?
Yeah, you can roll it. That's a very poorly written move. But
yeah, it's a little vague.
But yeah, you can go ahead and roll it.
Sweet.
Okay.
So yeah, it says that the GM will detail. So
yeah, I'm putting something together in my head real quick right now for it.
And while you're doing this, I sort of wants to walk up to Thomas. And she wants to attempt to comfort. And so she's like, Thomas, it's going to be all right. You know, Stryker and I are going to be here to help you. After everything that you've done for me in the past couple of days, past couple of weeks, you know I'm going to be here and I'm going to help you in any way that I can.
Thanks. And I just give her a hug.
She hugs him back. It's going to be all right. We're going to take care of this.
And then you also roll a 3.
We're going to see. Hey!
Congratulations. You can interpersonal. Fun fact, if I had done that same roll, I would have failed because I don't have a +1, I have a net 0.
So as you, one fee's words do kind of hit. So if you respond to that as appropriate. So Thomas, you can either mark potential, clear condition, or shift labels.
I don't have any conditions. I'm torn between potential and labels, though. Let me see. I guess I can do mundane down and savior up. Or actually, maybe freak up, considering the situation.
All right. And as if by pure luck, which seems to be something that happens fairly often in your life, just not when you intentionally will it into being, as you load Final Destination on the DVD player, and you skip ahead to your favorite part of watching the log truck, the entertainment center suddenly lifts up like a garage door, and behind it is another doorway, like a safe type of door, and it has a biometric scanner on it. You have learned by now that a number of times a lot of your mom's caches seem to work for you genetically when you use the biometrics.
Then, yeah, I mean, is it like, what are we talking, like hand, I guess?
It's a hand and eye.
Okay, so yeah, then I put my hand on it.
Your entire left arm.
And it keeps it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so as you put your hand on it, and you do the eye scanner, and they both ding positive, and the door kind of spins open, very massive, heavy, protective door, and behind it is a small room of stolen goods and items, and you see what looks like it might be some sort of cryo ray. You see what looks like some weird gnarled staff that has a flame etched out of wood at the top of it. Just all these weird gizmos or gadgets, but one thing that kind of stands out in the back corner is a very large ornate cross atop a large golden pole that seems kind of relevant to the situation, as luck would have it.
I mean, yeah, I'd take that one for sure.
And as you take it, you see at the center of the cross, as it moves, there's a slight rattling, and as you look closer, there's embedded in it is what looks to be a piece of bone, a piece of collarbone. This is some type of reliquary.
Oh.
Damn it, Mom. I mean, I'm not at all surprised, actually.
I have so many questions I actually can't begin fielding.
Would you say, Stryker, would you say you have a bone to pick with me? Eh?
He just stares
and he just sort of smacks Thomas on the shoulder. Really? Really?
Yeah, why not?
Oh.
I guess she's feeling a little cross about the situation.
And she just sort of glares at Stryker like, you too.
He shrugs and says the professor really doesn't have any better way to spend her time.
Yeah, come on, see, Jesus.
And now that one, I don't know who that guy is.
None of these items are labeled or anything like that. They're just like basically like you would see in a normal house, where somebody just throws a bunch of stuff in a closet to get out of the way.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Why is there so much stuff to open that box? You already have to go through an underwater cave.
I don't know. I just shrugged.
And a movie. There was so. When you get this much money, do you just not have to work anymore and thus need to find new ways to fill in the time? He asked genuinely, he actually doesn't understand how rich people live. Every second is spent on gaining money to feed himself. He just saw what might be the most contrived way of opening a secret cache ever.
I mean, in fairness, it was her favorite movie. Maybe she just wanted it to do stuff.
You know what? I guess fair enough. I'm learning to recognize that there's worlds I can't comprehend.
She's like, I don't understand it either. It's not just you.
Is this cross thing important or relevant? It seems like it is from your reaction.
I mean, maybe these guys are religious, so yeah, probably. We'll probably have to put the phone up here.
Is that bone? Why would they care? Is that like the bone of that pope that your mom killed or something?
I don't know. Godfrey might know about that. Might know more about that. Hey, Godfrey, you know whose bone this is?
So y'all bring it back to the command center room where he's still at work trying to pull all the data together, and he looks at it and 1 second, starts tapping away into like your mom's database and cross-referencing crosses, and like 18 different crosses show up, and he breaks that down to ones that are reliquaries, so 2 more show up, and of those 2, one's a reliquary with the finger bone, and the other one has the collarbone, so that narrows it down. And so it's the collarbone of the second Christ. That may be of interest to them. Yes, she didn't take it. She didn't take it from them, but it may smooth things over for a while.
Kind of just turns to Thomas. Is your mom like a pirate? He saw so much shit on that database. He thought he was like, oh, his mom pissed off some people and got some shit. Not like folders and folders of items to where there could be 18 results for something as fucking weird as a cross.
I mean, according to my dad, for about 6 months at one point there, yeah.
Huh. He just kind of just stares and blinks and it goes. So
she was the menace of the Indian Ocean for a while.
We give them
that one.
We give them this weird bone thing, and they fuck off.
There's a very good chance of that. Yes, I'll see if I can make contact with one of their higher ups.
He just sort of looks around. Maybe we should prepare for when they don't fuck off and want to take the staff anyway.
That's a good idea.
I mean, any other crazy things that require DVDs to activate?
I just gesture vaguely to all the DVDs.
Do they all open different rooms? What?
No, at least 3 of them do. In this house.
Back at home, our copy of Jingle All the Way always hides my Christmas present.
No, I changed that one last year. You found the false room, sir.
I've never felt quite so poor.
I look oddly crushed specifically by that information. Like, it makes me sadder than anything else today has.
He just stares at this interaction and then tries to stop thinking about it. And like the correlation between how much money they waste and how much money he makes and the vast disparity. Now, I guess the hard way, Stryker has learned the concept of class inequality.
In fairness, there's also magic involved. It's not just money.
I have a feeling that it's a lot. Money plays a very, very big deal. And
Oh, no, yeah, you're not wrong.
Fee just sighs, just like.
I do believe there's a training room downstairs if you wanted to make yourself ready, and just in case.
Yes.
Definitely. And Thomas, I assume you can show us how to get there?
Yeah, if it's the same setup as the top house, yeah.
Yeah, and so you lead them out and make your way. You go down a flight of stairs into like a basement area. And this is it's like a full-on like dojo setup. It's got the mats all over. It's got racks of different styles of weapons and whatnot, including firearms of different kinds, training dummies, things of that nature, targeting things to target with the throwing weapons and the guns and all that.
Fee just sort of looked around.
Relearn from the professor about the legal system of the city because it's very different from what I thought it was. He just kind of is like, I need to find something, and just looks for like a training dummy or something.
Oh yeah, there's a few of those for you to beat up on.
Well, for the first time, he assumes that this is going to be made of a material that can actually handle his 100%. So he just fucking wallops this training dummy.
Yeah, with the first blow, it splinters under your fist. It appeared to be like a basic wooden one underneath the mat that you punch through it.
He just stares at its decimated form with a very blank expression before turning to Thomas. Is there one made of something stronger?
I mean, probably you can try a few out, yeah.
Well, could you? I don't know if I'll like trigger something insane if I just go randomly punching and touching. So, where?
So he motions to one of the ones at the farther end, where it's a bit sturdier. They'll probably handle what you got.
All right, he'll go and repeat the process. He's actually never seen something like survive his 100%. So it'd give him a good metric finally of like how strong is he when he's not angry.
Yeah, so you throw a few punches and it holds up. After about the third or fourth one, you think you might hear like a slight creaking noise or something, but it's still upright and everything. So hit it enough times that you may break it, but it's good for a while.
He has finally found somewhere in this place that he can enjoy himself. He now knows what his next like couple hours are going to probably be until someone comes up with something productive. Breaking probably everything on the bottom end of the train dummy section.
And while she's down there, Fee is going to sort of go into the corner and try to manifest some water so that she can see if she can improve her control over it so that she can utilize it better when they go into a fight the next time.
Okay, go ahead and roll Unleash Your Powers.
Okay.
Yeah, you're able to pull some out of the air, and pull some like through the wall almost, it seems like from the lake nearby and the moisture in the ground, like through somehow, like just such minute traces of it, but enough of it through like the materials of the wall, even almost something you've not quite done before, but you don't know if it's the proximity, the seriousness of the situation, or just your better grasp on your powers, but now emotionally. But it does seem to have improved over your last few uses.
Okay. She's
And
just going to.
No, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
It's like she's just going to sort of stay in like a meditative state, trying to see how much control she can get over it. Just practicing and trying to keep that as in control as she can.
And you keep a good focus on it. You keep your attention on it, and at least for the entire time down while you're down there, it seems to respond how you want it to respond, doing what you want it to do.
Okay.
And then I've got a couple things that I want to do while they're both doing those things.
Okay.
Since this was, a place that my mom's used, I'd like to look around and see if I can find any like books or equipment that would be helpful to either of them for their given power sets that I can pass over. And while I'm looking for that, I should probably call my dad and let him know what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, he picks up and just, hey buddy, how's everything?
Oh, doing okay. Some guy. I don't know how things are there with you over there, but some guys from the Templars attacked the house. So Godfrey has us in a safe house nearby. So just wanted to check on you, see how you're doing.
No, I'm fine. Are you okay? I mean, I know I got what you said, but I mean, are you okay?
Yeah, we're doing all right. Got a couple members of the team down here with me, so we're kind of just killing time. We think what they might be after is the staff that Mom had with the collarbone from Christ 2.
Electric Boogaloo?
I thought it. I wasn't gonna say it.
I
No,
did
that's what I
too. Oh, I'm so happy we all thought it.
Oh, that thing. I mean, that was my favorite Christ, but I told her that was. I mean, that was a mistake.
I feel sad that Stryker doesn't know enough about the Catholic religion that I can't find out what the fuck is meant by second Christ. Am I just missing like some vital piece of information about Catholicism? I was pretty sure there was only the one.
Yeah, no, as far as I know, there's only the one.
I'm just having fun with it.
Okay, because like for real, he like Variable just rolled with it so well that I was like, wait, is this actually a thing? Like for free. Damn, I thought I knew that religion like pretty well, even though I'm not a participant in it. But Missing Second Christ sounds pretty big. Homeboy Christ Jr.
I mean, when your mom was one of the most powerful magic users ever, you hear some stories.
The hidden secret reptilian Christ.
No, that was number like 10.
I'm not gonna dig the holes. How many Christs there are? Turns out, like all of them are slowly, like when they die, their ashes are incorporated into Chrysler cars. It's actually that many just in production. There's just so many Chrysler.
Wow.
We went there.
Hey, I made a cross joke after he made a bone joke. I'm pretty sure the president basically the ground.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. It was just like, okay.
Yeah, I just wasn't expecting it from you.
Yeah.
You're welcome, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, it was very appreciated.
No.
But well, it's just listen to Godfried, and he'll take care of the situation. He'll make sure you're safe. Let me know if I can do anything.
All right, I will. I don't know. I guess I'll let you know what happens.
Yeah, please keep me informed. I'm surprised he didn't contact me to begin with. I'll have to talk with him about that too.
Godfrey's in trouble.
Just stay safe.
All right, I will. You too, Dad.
And he hangs up, and you're looking around for stuff specifically for Stryker and for Fee.
Yeah. Norman's not here, but I guess if I can find anything for him too, I can try to pass that on later. But yeah.
Rage for dummies. Barbarians guide to getting mad.
Give me an Unleash Your Powers roll.
Ha! Perfect suit of armor, like the most pure water ever, and eternal shadows.
So you're looking around, going through some of the caches you know and whatnot, and you enter the master bedroom, and you've never actually found anything hidden here, but you just kind of walk in, look around, and you run your hand along like the dresser, and then just happen to like pat it in just the right spot where it triggers something, and it's great that I can like just make up random shit like that because it's all luck.
Is there also like a picture of my mom and dad from before I was born? And
Yeah, and that's a picture on the wall there that like pops open, and just there's a small little door, like a safe door behind that you've never seen before. That has like the same kind of biometric type imprints on it, except instead of a full hand, it's just a thumb and eye.
I would have to think that like if you failed this roll, all this would still happen, but instead of something you put like his mom's porn stash. It's like, why did I open this?
Their homemade amateur porn stash.
Oh god.
so that's what they use this place for. Great.
They were looking like,
All right.
So yeah, so that just pops open. You've never seen before.
Okay, so yeah, so I put my thumb on it, I guess.
Okay, so yeah, you open it up, and it kind of whirs open, and there's a wooden box, just a plain wooden box inside, decent size, maybe 6 inches tall, 6 inches deep and wide as well. You pull it out, and it doesn't seem to be sealed or anything in any way. And as you open it up, there's just a whole bunch of like newspaper clippings in there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of start going through them.
And as you start going through, a lot of them are like clippings of like her different capers and things of that nature. And as you're going through some of them, There's the time that she stole the Hope Tower in Halcyon. There's the time that she made the moon disappear for a week. Just all sorts of this crazy crap. And you get to one with where it talks about a dozen missing kids recovered, and as you look at it, you can't help but notice like in the picture is like a ruined like warehouse on fire, as in the background you see a whole bunch of like kind of kids with like Aegis agents kind of ushering them to safety, but you see a couple of them around this one little boy who's crouched down over the bodies of two different heroes, the tech heroes, Tech Knight and Steel Bat, and you're looking at it and it really looks like a young Stryker.
God, I thought that's what you were gonna say.
I mean, like, I expected it to me because I don't know a goddamn thing about Stryker's heritage. Didn't expect two tech heroes to be involved in the situation. Wait, so like, am I crouched down under them, or I'm crouched
And so like he's crouched down like he's trying to wake them up like they're sleeping, and as you read it, they like the story goes that like they were his parents, that she had kidnapped him and a number of other people, kids. This was before you were born by about a year. And she, one of the kids she kidnapped happened to have superhero parents who tried to get them back and were killed in the process. And as you go through the article and read the names, there's nobody named Stryker there, but there is just a last name of the heroes that they were identified. They were the Shafis, and amongst the one second, and then amongst the other list of recovered children, there was also Aaron Rao, which you know to be Fee.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How is this a success?
He was looking for something involving y'all.
You lucked out. You found that your mom killed your friend's parents.
And kidnapped them.
I was hoping for equipment or knowledge to help them get better.
Now, are you going to share this, or are you now just going to kind of quietly put this in the corner and you'll never learn about his parents?
I mean, if you guys ask why I'm sitting on the couch not saying shit, then yeah, probably.
I mean, we don't know that you went off to get anything. Oh my god.
I've been sitting on this and y'all like were making characters before we ever began.
Jesus Christ, man.
How have you not exploded?
Man, I remember when all my friends give me shit about killing my parents and then going, well, every time I don't kill them, the DM just kills them. And then my character's got to learn that, as opposed to just the other way around, where at least they had time to prepare for their loss, and I got to put it in my own terms. And they said, no, Travis, you're being paranoid. But currently I'm 6 for 6 Shafi to parent ratio. So I beg to differ. Goddamn.
Is this the thing you told Julie about a while back, that she was like, oh man, Kyle told me a thing and it's going to be awesome when you guys get there?
No, that was not this at all. That's something else still.
Great.
Oh boy.
Great, and also fuck you.
I guess Stryker would handle it the best out of anyone if they were in our group, if they were to learn a relative was killed by your mom and also kidnapped.
Hey, so you guys remember that time y'all got kidnapped when you were kids? Turns out it was my mom, and also she killed your parents.
You know, the worst part is he doesn't remember that because obviously he's repressed that memory because I didn't know that happened to him.
Yeah,
Clearly,
yeah. There's no memory for either of y'all of that.
yeah, there's some serious repression going on here.
Well, buddy, what you gonna do?
I mean, I'm gonna take a couple more. I mean, shit. Well, first off, if that picture is small enough, I'm gonna the one that was in the frame that was over all this. I'm gonna take that and put it in my pocket. Maybe show it to Dad later on.
You'd have to take it out of the frame and fold it up, but
do what?
You'd have to take it like out of the frame and fold it up.
Yeah, that was what I meant. Just kind of fold it and put it in my pocket. And I'm gonna go sit on the couch and have myself a think. Because, like, I knew my mom was a villain, and I've heard stories about some of the stuff, but hot diggity daffodil, man.
You're officially danger close.
Danger adjacent.
Stryker is speaking about his past. You know just how much damage he did to this child from growth to where he is now. He spent most of his life fighting for his life because he had no family. Cool. This is gonna be a fun friendship once you tell him. Or if you hide this forever and he finds out, it'll be a completely different kind of friendship. Once you tell him.
Yeah, there it is. We're just living out the story where Stryker eventually goes dark side because I never told him.
I mean, this is the kind of information that I'm pretty sure it's better to hear from someone than to find out.
Yeah, so I find myself like the closest place to sit down to where they are, and I'm just having myself a think, man.
Okay.
I guess while he's doing this, I think Stryker, seeing this opportunity to really like let himself go, kind of, he doesn't know a lot about like how his powers work at all, but he knows that his emotional state is important. So I think he's trying to like kind of get back that edge he's lost since being in the cage fights, because he was like, you know, a lot more about like giving people second chances and has just generally grown softer because of the people around him. And I think the hot dog people taught him a valuable lesson why that's a mistake. So he's trying to remember like how he felt in that moment when he punched through that dude, and is trying to like learn how to just get into that state. So he's just been fucking wailing on training dummies.
Yeah, and you've been doing that for probably a good 10 minutes or so, and you finally you hit it with the extra oomph in it. This one finally snaps into pieces.
He's like taking ragged breaths. Kind of, he's like neck, and then he turns to the right and see there's nothing left. It's like, and then he looks down and sees his hands are bloody. He's like, I guess it's time for a break. And he goes to check on how the other two are doing.
Yeah, as you look around, Fee is still down there, and she's just like in a meditative state with some water that she's drawn together. And what are you doing with the water?
I'm basically just having it sort of circle around, just seeing how much control I have over it and making it do like different things, seeing just how finite my control is.
Okay, so yeah, you see the water kind of like dancing around, taking shapes, moving in ways like where it's clearly a game of training or testing her levels of control. Like you're able to deduce that well enough from your own efforts of training over the years and whatnot. but she seems pretty focused on that.
Yeah, he nods in approval, not really disturbing her. He's been pushing for her to train her powers more properly for a long time. Nice. Then tries to find out what Thomas is doing. He thought that Thomas was going to train with them, and he hasn't shown up.
Yeah, as you leave the training area, kind of walking around, and you turn the first corner, and the room's empty. You step into the next one, and you see Thomas sitting on a couch. He does have. Did you take the box with you? I don't remember, or just the picture.
The picture of my mom and dad went into my pocket. The whole box I probably left upstairs, but I am holding like that one clipping about them.
Okay, and so you just see him sitting on a couch with like a piece of paper in his hand, looking more serious probably than you've ever seen him looking.
Yeah, I guess he walks up and says, "Something up, Thomas?" You don't typically stare that hard.
Hey. I just don't really know what to say, so I'd like pass him the article.
What's this? And he kind of, I guess, looks down.
So, yeah, funny story. Yeah.
Kind of looks up to him again, like confused, and I guess he reads the article.
Yeah, and it's you get the gist of it that at some point in time, when you were very young, you were one of a group of kids that had been kidnapped by the villain Pandemonium, who you know to be his mom, where in an attempt to rescue them with Aegis, two of the tech heroes there, Steelbat and Tech Knight, who were killed, and they were the parents of the young Shafi child. I don't know if you have a first name you want to come up with. You want me to come up with the first name, since you said Stryker's adopted?
Starts with an S, though. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll come up with one then. I didn't know if you wanted one or not. So,
yeah.
But you get the gist of it there, and from looking at it, you can see the resemblance in the picture of the young you being you. And in the article, you also see Fee's name as one of the ones who was kidnapped by his mom, for reasons unknown to the authorities, at least.
His expression's very hard to read right now. And after a very long time, he looks up back at Thomas, takes a deep breath, and just says, "I'm not angry at you."
Are you sure?
I don't know how I feel about your mother. I deserve a conversation, but I'm hoping you didn't know this, and I assume from how I saw you that you didn't. So there's no reason for me to be mad at you.
Yep. Had not told me this story. That was when they left.
Kind of just like slowly taking unsteady breaths and just says, I don't remember any of this. I need some time to think. Once he is done with her stuff, and he kind of just hands it to you, and like he looks direct.
Yeah, I'll tell her to. Yeah.
And he kind of just dryly swallows. Goes walking in a direction, so that he's moving and not thinking, the two things he needs to be done right now.
Okay. Once Fee realizes she can't really hear Stryker punching in the background, she gets up and sort of wanders back to the main area.
She doesn't hear metal abuse.
Yeah, she's like, wait, it's quiet.
Yeah, as you come up, you see Stryker. Thomas still just kind of sitting there, and Stryker nowhere to be seen.
She walks up to him, supposing that, the reason he's so sullen is because of everything. And she just immediately sort of walks up, sits down beside him, and puts an arm around his shoulders. Like, it's going to be okay, Thomas. We're going to make sure you're okay. I promise. You know that, right?
Yeah. 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 It's not that. Hey, Fee, were you ever kidnapped when you were a kid?
What way to start?
She sort of pauses and thinks back. Not that I know of.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, here, you might want to read this. There you go.
She takes the article and she scans it. When she's done, she looks back at him. Thomas, this changes exactly nothing. You are not responsible for anything that your mother may have done. We're still going to make sure you're okay.
Are you sure you're not mad?
Why would I be mad? You didn't do this. You would have been the same age as me. There's no way you could have had anything to do with this, Thomas. You are not your mother.
Actually, Thomas is the youngest one of all of y'all. He's younger than all of you. He wasn't actually born when this happened.
Even more to the point, you are not your mother, Thomas. Why would I ever blame you for something someone else did, no matter who that person is?
I mean, like, look where we are, man. We're here because people keep doing that.
Other people suck.
Yeah.
Man. Other people suck.
Fee just pulls him in for a hug. She's like, I don't care about any of that. You're my friend. You helped me when you had every reason not to. You've always been there for me, Thomas, and I'm going to be here. I'm not going anywhere.
I just sobbed into her shoulder a little bit.
She slowly pulls back. Did you tell Stryker?
Yeah. I don't know where he went.
It's all right. He's a big boy. Would you like me to stay here with you for a little while?
No, I think I'll be all right. Hey, do you guys want to come live with me? My mom kidnapped them when they were kids. The least I could do is give them a room.
I promise this isn't just me inheriting the family business and a second stage kidnapping with some sprinklings of Stockholm.
I won't let them get away, damn it.
Do you want to come live in the family home of the woman who kidnapped you and killed Stryker's parents?
Fee just sort of pauses. She's like, I don't know, Thomas. It's been hard enough for me to convince Stryker to come move into an apartment with me where we split the bills 50-50. I don't know how he'd do. You know he doesn't like any perceived charity.
I mean, he doesn't have to hang out with my neighbor, but okay. The lady next door has a daughter named Charity.
conversation's taking an interesting turn. I've seen her dog. I've pet it 5 times. Exactly 5.
That's not exactly what I meant, but
I know.
I'll bring it up to him and see if he would be open to it. Okay, I promise I'll ask him.
All right, cool.
She gives him another hug and just sort of stands up. Where's the kitchen?
And the kitchen in the same spot it would be in your regular house, so you can easily guide her to the kitchen, and it's fully stocked when y'all get there.
Oh, that was in character. Okay. I don't know,
Yes.
for some reason, I was thinking that question was out of character.
Okay then.
No, like directed at the gym. Like, hey, where's the kitchen in this place?
Yeah, where's my kitchen? It's like, well,
I've never seen your apartment, but I'm gonna say over to the left and take a right.
Thinking is hard, damn it.
Did you find? I didn't find it. You didn't turn left enough, obvious.
Do what?
Nothing. Oh, all right. So Fee goes to the kitchen and she's gonna make a couple of PB&J sandwiches for her and Stryker, and then she's gonna go looking for him.
Actually, this place being a safe house, would we have like regular food, or is it all like vacuum sealed MREs and shit?
It's got regular food. It just seems to have really long shelf life on it, like longer than you find in a normal store.
Well, and peanut butter lasts for a long time.
Oh, that's true.
Not if you eat it all.
You know what? I never thought of that. Food does disappear when you eat it, huh?
It does. It doesn't last very long.
Besides, your family's probably rich enough to just go replacing the bunker food like every other month.
Like, oh, if you need more peanut butter, well, that's in the peanut butter closet over there.
I mean, Godfrey does make some day-long shopping trips that I never go on, so maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
Gonna call me crazy. I think Stryker's probably gonna talk to his probably on the phone with the professor. If there was ever a moment to go, okay, when do I need to call a teenage counselor? Finding out that you had parents that are now dead, you were kidnapped when you were young, and your name's not your name. This is the care package.
Professor, who am I?
Someone 4 whole days ago, and I thought that was gonna be the thing that was gonna weigh on his mind for the next month. Incorrect. Jesus shit.
Yeah, so when you call her, she picks up and just are you still safe?
I learned a lot. I don't know what to do.
About what exactly? The Templars?
No, this situation's a lot worse.
They've made it into the. Are you in danger? More so? I can send people if I need to.
No, it happened a long time ago. I learned what happened to my real parents.
Oh.
And they were killed saving me when I was kidnapped by my friend's mother, all of which I can't remember myself. I don't know how I'm supposed to process this.
I don't think anybody would really know how they're supposed to process that. I know that's not helpful, but
I don't even recognize my own first name.
so, but Stryker is not your birth name then.
Apparently not. He's trying to like stares at a wall. He doesn't even know where he is anymore. He's probably got guy, you know.
But Shafi is your last name.
Yeah, the kid looked like me when he was pushing on his dead parents.
There were pictures.
Yeah, it was a newspaper clipping. Apparently, they went by Tech Knight and Steelbat.
Oh, I remember that incident. That was awful.
Oh, I mean, me and Fee were apparently part of it. None of us can remember it. So at this point, any information that doesn't make me feel like the world is spinning would be great right now.
I don't have much on that particular incident. I just remember reading about it. It was a huge deal at the time for obvious reasons. But I can look into it further, see if I can find out anything more specific. Reach out to some contacts, maybe find out if he just knew anything about what it was. To my knowledge, nothing was ever released on motive for it.
I can speak. I'm going to speak to the person in question about that at some point when some stupid fucking chainmail wearing goddamn rocket launcher people aren't firing at us.
It's been a long few days, I know. Just make sure you rely on your friends when you can. You have people in your life now who care about you. Use them.
I don't even know how to talk about this with them. I don't even know. I mean, I have two people here, one of which is the son of the person who did all this. So I imagine no conversation is going to be a comfortable one. Fielding that subject. I mean, he didn't know. I don't want. I'm honestly surprised I called you.
Well, you always can, even if I'm not the most help for every situation you find yourself in. They seem to be getting more and more.
He
Yeah, just
like,
more and more.
I just punch the problems in front of me, and they go away.
Well, maybe punching your friend will help. She says, you can tell it's a joke, but
There's like a long silence before he goes, I don't think that might help.
What did I do to her?
I said you could tell it was a joke.
Yeah. Stryker just couldn't read it at the moment. And he's like, well, I guess. In better news, I got to use your cross joke, which I didn't imagine I would ever find the situation.
And it went over pretty well, didn't it?
It followed, I have a bone to pick with you, so I feel yes.
That's good. It's always good to find something to laugh about or joke about, and times are too serious. Like That tends to help me, at least.
Yeah, I guess I'll call you when, I don't know, we trade some cross of the second Christ, whatever, to get them less mad.
I wasn't a fan of the second one.
Well, seeing as they have this bone in bottles, I don't imagine many were.
Oh, the fact that they have bones of their holy figures and relics, it's out of a sense of respect and or power. It's not a bad thing as in their minds.
How is this a boring place?
Well, the services for I guess the normies of the religion, those are what I'm talking about. Not obviously the things involving Templars and rocket launchers.
Organization sounds batshit insane. I've heard that they brought their dead back to life. How is this weirder than the hot dog people?
I guess it's just a matter of perspective and being used to it, as this has been this religion has been in the public eye for many years, thousands of years. It's some people don't believe any of it, others believe all of it, but people become desensitized to some of the claims. But hot dog people, that's kind of new.
Well, hopefully this week will just end boring, and I can just talk to you about normal things, like finding out about my parents. That I imagine is a lot more relatable than hot dogs, drinkage, and whatever the fuck this organization is, because it seems like I'm getting very different answers from everyone.
It's a strange world, Stryker.
Just please stay safe.
I'm already at the compound. I'll be fine.
Good. I don't think I can handle learning about any more dead people right now. And he just hangs up the phone and sits wherever he finds himself. I don't know how large, complex this underground bunker is. I just know that he's been walking for a while.
Yeah, you ended up going up and down a couple of different sets of stairs, and where you ended up looks like a replica of what you can only assume is Thomas's room.
Well, he decides to fully embrace this surrealness of the situation by sleeping in his bed. Because he's tired and stressed, and you know what? Who the fuck cares anymore?
And you find the bed is just right.
No.
Cool. But thought it was gilded for Goldilocks.
Sophie, you're making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Thomas, what are you doing?
Still kind of coming down from the 1,000-yard stare, I guess, but sitting not too far away from feed.
She pushes one of the sandwiches like in front of him. Eat, it'll help. Trust me.
I mean, I do, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. And she takes a bite of her own and she just takes a deep breath. You want to go see what Godfrey's found out as soon as we get done?
Oh, crap, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we should probably go see what he's doing.
All right, let's go. And so, as soon as they're done with their sandwiches, I'm gonna go and check out what Godfrey's been up to and see what information he has.
Okay. And so as y'all enter the room, and you just, well, good news is I got a hold of somebody, and they're willing to call this off for the reliquary. The bad news is you have to deliver it to them.
Of course we do. When do they want it?
They are willing to take it right now. They know we came into the park, so they've been scouting around up top. They don't know where we're at. You look on the monitors, you see little squads of Templars just kind of like roaming the city park as people are like kind of like eyeing them and keeping their distance from it. And you see the police have actually kind of cordoned off the park itself as people they try to get people out of it without actually entering it and causing a bigger scene.
Well, we need to get it to them as soon as possible then. We can get this all to blow over. We need to handle this.
Very good. We can take the elevator. Just whenever you're ready.
He looks at Thomas. He looks at Thomas. She looks at Godfrey. I'm gonna go up alone.
They want Thomas to deliver it.
That's not happening. They have no particular fight with me. You send him up there, they're gonna attack him. I promise you.
Well, based on what they were saying, I think it's more of an intimidation move. If I truly thought he were going to be attacked, I wouldn't let him do it at all. But he doesn't have to go alone.
You won't be. She looks up. Do you have cameras in the rest of this house?
Yes, of course.
Do you know where our other friend went?
He taps a few keys and pulls up the camera for the room. You see Stryker sleeping on Thomas's bed.
Let him sleep. We'll handle this.
Oh yes, please make the chances of this day getting worse even higher.
That's what Fee would do in character. She sees Stryker sleeping. She knows she woke him up once already.
No, it's fine. Lucid just knows that, man, the last time a character of mine was out cold and the group engaged in a battle, one of the people came back without an arm. Some things never change.
I mean, I'm cool with playing out the rest of this game with the cool robot hand.
Holy shit, man.
The authorities are on the scene. I suggest you go in costume.
You have copies of our costumes?
I assumed you carried them with you. There are duplicates of Thomas's. I'm sure we can put something together for the others, or for you.
Just a mask will be fine.
Plenty of those, and
He brings up a room and like tells you how to get to it, and it's just a whole bunch of like all sorts of different kinds of masks. There's actually different costume pieces too. Like you figure it was one of his mom's dressing rooms, basically.
Because that's not awkward. I'm gonna go raid the closet of the one who kidnapped me as a child.
Oh yeah, whenever he gets around to getting up, he's having a long talk with Godfrey.
As Fee's putting on her mask, because she still has the insecure condition, she sort of rethinks her plan. She knows that she's been able to use her powers pretty strongly in the past, but she's not sure if she would be able to handle everything, especially if Thomas is there. And so as soon as she sort of like pockets a mask, she begins to go and walk towards where Stryker was.
And you're able to find the room pretty quickly. You've been to Thomas's house before now, once or twice at least.
She walks into the room and she taps lightly on the doorframe. Stryker, they want to meet. They want the bone cross.
Yeah. Kind of robotically sits up, nods, dusts himself off, and just says, "Well, hopefully this goes all right."
Yeah. They wanted him to go alone to bring it out to them. That's not happening.
I thought they said they were fine with him bringing people.
Yeah, they wanted Thomas there delivering it, but they didn't specifically say alone.
Yeah, they just wanted him there.
Gotcha. I offered to take it out, but they want Thomas.
Okay. Let's do this. Because
would you a mask or anything? There's authorities on the scene, and I know you don't normally do the whole costume thing, but I figured a mask might be appropriate in this situation.
I guess so. I need some time before I deal with talking to authorities.
Don't worry, like always, I'll be the one talking to the authorities.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that. And so she...
Stupid man.
Yeah.
Like, looks in the mirror and stuff. Yeah, this looks fucking stupid. Just keeps walking.
Yeah, regroup with Thomas, and I think Thomas is the first time you've seen Stryker in like a hero mask of any kind.
What?
I don't know if that came out right, but I said as y'all regroup with Thomas, Thomas is the first time he sees Stryker with like a hero mask of any kind on. You said you put one on, right?
Yeah, I assume it's probably one of his. Unless there was a variety of masks that were available.
Yeah, there were a number of different types of all kinds.
Probably wearing like a more silver one then.
And Godfrey hands y'all the cross, or hands Thomas the cross rather, and you can take the elevator. You can use it to get back down to if you want to avoid the authorities.
Stryker nods and says, "We're talking after I'm done with this."
Oh, very good, sir. He seems kind of confused. He tells you how to get there, and so you get to the elevator and open it up, and there's just a basic up and down arrows, and as you hit up, the doors close, and it doesn't feel like it moves, but when they open, you see the park out in front of you, And as you kind of step out, you realize you're walking out of a tree.
Fee glances around. Thomas, did Godfrey say where we were going to do the exchange?
Did he happen to say, I guess, while they were gone?
He didn't specifically say where. He just said they would meet you up on the surface. They didn't. You could basically give it to any of the agents.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it. No, I guess just any of them.
And as you look around, there's a few, and then they seem to notice you as two different groups of three start making their way towards you. They do have weapons drawn, but they aren't firing or anything. They're approaching cautiously.
She sort of drops herself into like a slight ready position just in case. She's not going to make any threatening moves, but she's definitely going to like tense up.
And as they approach, one of them kind of steps up in front of the others and just kind of bring it over here.
Yeah, okay, sure.
He calls out, he gives this to you, you go away. That's the deal, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And so he kind of meets you in the middle, and as you hold out the staff, he kind of grips it, but doesn't take it away from you yet. And he just kind of leans down and whispers to you, Thomas, "This does not make us even. This is not the last. We will get ours." And just rips it away and turns away and walks back to the group.
Fuck, wait, it cut out.
He whispered to you basically, this doesn't like make it even. That they're still going to get theirs.
He gave the mob villain line.
It's basically this.
This is the last you'll see of me.
Right. This is the protection money to keep you safe for now, but they'll be back next month to shake you down.
I just kind of laugh uneasily and wave then, like,
And
Quietly thinking, like, I'm a lot more scared of the person next to me than you guys right at this current moment.
And as he rejoins the others, the groups, like, they kind of, like, sling their weapons and seem to, like, tap their belt, and they, like, disappear in a burst of energy. The burst of energy leaves a golden afterimage of kind of a cross as they teleport away. And you can see that repeating all over the park as they all leave, having gotten the reliquary. The door to the tree is still open if you wanted to go back down.
yeah, I walk into it and just kind of collapse onto my butt with the big old thigh.
I guess Stryker follows.
Fee follows as well.
And as y'all hit down, the tree closes and reopens to the house without any sensation of movement.
Meanwhile, we picked up some kid who was like, "Hey, cool, a door in a tree."
No, there's no strange kids in the tree with y'all.
Oh, thank God, I didn't want to explain that to any parent.
Well, Stryker's gonna go to talk to Godfrey because he's not gonna be mad at Thomas, but he needs to be mad at someone, and he's the only one other character involved in that, and potentially knowing.
As you go back to the security room, I don't know if everybody's following with you or not, or if they just leave you to it. But he's
gonna follow.
He's kind of doing some last minute recons, making sure everybody's gone and everything, and making sure everything's in order. And knew that would end without violence or more violence if they just took that item. We look to be in the clear. Apologies for all of this.
I want to speak to Thomas' parents.
Well, his dad was due home this past weekend, but with recent events, he's been rather busy with trying to prevent the passing and popularization of the Registration Act. His mother is in a very, very secure location that Thomas can barely get in to see her. I doubt we could get you in.
Find a way.
I can try. I don't see how. As I said, Thomas can barely get in, and he's family.
Well, she killed mine, so I deserve some answers.
And he seems genuinely taken aback at that, and just do what now?
I'm not repeating myself twice. I want to speak with her.
I can try. I can't make any promises. She's, like I said, in a very secure prison.
It's like trying to keep his anger in check, and just says, well, I hope for the both of us you succeed. Kind of just storms off to wait, I guess, for the heat to die down so he can fucking leave.
And Godfrey just kind of looks at Fee and just, I wasn't aware of that.
Fee looks at him. She kidnapped me as well. Apparently there's a lot of things you're not aware of.
Apparently. I truly don't think I'll be able to get him in to see her, but I can look through her files.
She cuts him off. Do your best. Do your best. Otherwise, I can't promise what will happen to you.
I will, and I will try to search through what's left of her files and see if I can find any reason why. Do you have more information on when this happened, or so I can narrow down the search?
Tech Knight and Steelbat, those were his parents.
He just kind of nods, and I'll get on this. We should be clear to leave here within the hour.
I think it would be best for everyone if Stryker and I made our own way back. Thank you for coming to check on us.
Understandable, and you're welcome. And he's just kind of at a loss for words.
I don't blame you, Godfrey, but right now, I don't know how safe you are around Stryker. And I'm not going to let either of you do something you're going to regret.
And he just kind of nods, and I'm going to do my best.
She nods as well, and she walks off to find Stryker to let him know that they can leave.
He isn't too far off. He just nods and gets up and starts getting going.
Yeah.
Figure they're going to take the elevator up and then make their way back to their apartment.
All right, we'll go ahead and call it there.
Oh. Have you listened? You met your quota. You still made him feel very upset.
Oh, what was that? I'm sorry, I was coughing.
You met your quota. You still managed to make him feel extremely upset. We're currently we're on a dare I say, emotional kill streak of, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 sessions. God damn it. This boy can't get a break, huh? It's been a month. Or however long it's been since, like...
Blame our missing party member. This would have been a giant battle fest if everybody had been here.
Surprise! Dead bear. Also, I like that coincidentally, I've been building Superior which is entirely appropriate for the son of two tech heroes. Completely by accident, because everyone acted so ridiculous that by him having any semblance of a tactical plan, he just looked like superior one.
Oh,
Mm.
oof.
I mean, I guess I grow closer to. I guess because it's definitely not going to be Thomas. I'm not going to go away from Thomas, but I don't think they're going to grow closer today because of what happened. At least not right now. Wow. Suck. I guess you can move my labels.
I'll go superior up 1.
All right.
And then, what's your freak at? Can it move?
Yes, it can.
Freak down.
Got it. The good old polarized set I'm used to seeing of -1, 3, -1, 3, -1.
I've got 3, 3, -2, -2, and a 1. So with you there.
I have 3, 2, 1, -2, -1.
Okay.
And it makes sense that Stryker grew closer to Thie with the shared history you learned about there.
Yeah.
I'll say, yeah, Fee grew closer to Stryker as well, given that they figured out that they have this shared history, as well as the fact that she finally got him to move in off the streets, because that's been something she's been worried about ever since they became close. She's wanted to make sure that he had a nice, safe place to sleep at night, and so she's been working towards that.
What do you think we're supposed to do? Or
She grew closer to you.
Oh, yeah, and then which of those were 3s? And which one was the -2, I guess?
Actually, you have 2 3s, freaking danger, and then savior and superior are both -2s, mundanes at a 1.
Well, I guess danger down, mundane up.
Okay.
Because really, that's the only thing out of the options that can go down.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like the entire Shopee line's Captain America.
Oh, hey, with that, I mark the potential, and I get a new advancement.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna go with my moment of truth.
Just have it on standby.
Yep, in case I need it.
Also, big shocker, I decided not to take that advancement I took before, and I'm just putting it on hold for something, because now, I mean, he's had a huge identity reveal that might change what he wants to go into. Like,
Makes
there was
sense.
shit I thought I would never, like, talk to Aegis that he might actually need to do now to get some semblance of answers. Man, you put us in an awkward situation, huh? Good thing that he's not so attached to his parents that he was thrown into a blind rage and got mad at Thomas.
I mean, I really wasn't sure how that would play out, but
Yeah. I mean, luckily we established in the backstory that they were fairly close, so it didn't explode sideways like I would have if we barely interacted. And he was like, "Hey, my mom killed your parents."
Oh,
ta-da!
Imagine how bad that would have been had that been Norman.
It would have been fairly rough.
Like, honestly, given, like, Thomas's normal personality, I actually expected him to be like, hey, guess who killed your parents?
Dude, I feel like I don't know how I, with Travis, could even compute that in my scales of, like, Stryker responses if that was how he came at it. Like,
I will be honest. When I was telling Fee, I almost went. Everyone who was not kidnapped as a kid, raise their hand. So fast.
turns out you need to put that hand back down. Surprise! You've been kidnapped before. Like, I think the biggest game changer was the fact that he spoke about his mom, his Stryker, because it revealed that he was already an open book, and therefore, when he learned about this, he could actually legitimately believe that Thomas just found out. Because the passage of time would be directly proportional to his apocalyptic rage. Which, like, right now, he's just, I don't know, more than angry, he feels extremely disoriented. Like, literally every single session has been an identity crisis for 4 sessions now, and this is by far the most shaking. Travis can't find my ground, so of course this boy is gone. Like, he's like, there was so much about myself that I'm learning really, really, really fast. Like, I was just trying to learn to contemplate the concepts of, like, emotional warfare and whether it's appropriate for a hero, quote unquote, to do. And then I had to, deal with the situation of people being forced to accidentally eat other people, and then someone committing suicide because I wasn't present to stop them after just talking to them and leaving them by themselves. Which, I mean, in hindsight, you can recognize that was the number one thing should not have done. And now he learns that of his parents, and that they're also dead. So at the same time, like, the desire to learn more and the acknowledgement that he can't came in the exact same package of, hey, it's one of your only friends, Mom. The one that he told you about that was a villain, and you kind of went, all right, she's trying to change. I can sympathize. I'm trying to change. And now you got to deal with that sense of feeling when, hey, homeboy, you're only a villain in the first place and killed people because of her. Like, you would have never been in this situation. Which, like, I mean, goddamn, if there's ever an example of institutional rage, then at this moment. Because holy fuck, did the city just fall through the cracks on this one, huh? They let the child of 2 superheroes land in this position. How did that happen? Wow. Fuck me, man. Feels good.
So, Thomas, you're into session moves.
Fuck, man, I don't know. I definitely didn't grow into my own image. That's for sure. I was gonna say away, but with that heart-to-heart he had with Bea, I might see him more growing closer to her.
Yeah, I mean, they were both still, like, nothing's changing between us, so if it was away, it would be an entirely personal thing, not because the team, like, ostracized you or anything.
True. Yeah, I'm gonna say grew closer to the team than Bea in particular, since we had a little bit more interaction and she made me food. Also, I want to point out that my mom does have some kind of history with Norman's dad, so there's another reveal in here somewhere. Fuck.
But it's this fucking tornado shit sandwich that we just have among us. So.
Norman's actually your half brother. Watch it. Watch it happen.
No, that would be confusing, seeing as the 2 tech heroes involved were, his parents.
No, not yours, Thomas's.
Okay. That would also be strange.
Because literally one of my, I think my other relationship was like, my parent once hurt blank, I have to make it up to them. And instead of it being Norman himself, we decided it was his dad. So, yeah.
Yeah, but that's like known about though. I'd have to go back and listen. But y'all talked about like that, and like she basically hurt him in a fight or something like that. And
Okay, I didn't remember if we had like said it was a fight and just didn't go into the details or what we had said.
I'd have to go back and double check, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
I'm still putting money on Norman as somehow Thomas's half brother.
I mean, it's magic, so why the hell not, right?
Exactly. What are your labels like?
Freak cannot go up, superior can't go down, and everything else can go either direction.
I'll say danger up 1, mundane down 1. Danger because you were willing to go and directly face. Even if we were there with you, you still went and faced them. So you were willing to do that. And mundane because this sort of showed your team that, no, he's really got this like underwater mansion panic room thing. That's not normal.
Dressing up as Princess Pikachu, man, whatever. Underground house.
I mean, everyone's got their weird closet fetish, but everyone doesn't have their weird underwater closet fucking bat cave.